If you've been considering a move to or around Fargo, North Dakota, and you've been paying any attention to real estate headlines this year, you've probably heard the words special assessments associated with the city of Horace, followed by 10 different opinions and maybe a little drama. People are frustrated, people are confused, some people feel blindsided, and others are wondering what's actually true. The reality is, most of us never learn what special assessments are until we suddenly have to deal with them. And by then, it already feels overwhelming. So, on today's episode of Living in Fargo, North Dakota, I'm going to slow everything down and explain this clearly. We are going to cover what special assessments really are, what happened in Horace in 2025 that got them all the media coverage, and what changes the city is making moving forward to try to prevent it from happening again. I'm not here to take sides. I'm here to explain the facts. And I want to be really clear. Most of the information in this video comes directly from two official sources: the City of Horace's written answers to questions I submitted to them, and the city's official special assessments policy document that outlines the exact legal process. Where I reference what happened or why this became a headline, that context comes from public media coverage and reporting. No opinion or speculation, just verified information explained in plain English. Because whether you're new to the area, a homeowner, a buyer, or just trying to make sense of the headlines, you deserve clarity instead of chaos. Let's get into it. If this is your first time to the channel, make sure to hit subscribe and tap the bell for notifications so you're the first to know about all things going on in and around Fargo, North Dakota. I'm Megan Oye with Realty Experts, and every day I talk to people just like you. So whether you are 9 days, 90 days, or 9 months from your move to or around Fargo, North Dakota, I'm here to help make that a smooth transition. All of my contact information is listed in the description below. Feel free to reach out to me in whatever way is most comfortable for you. Just a quick note, this video is for educational purposes only. I'm sharing general information and public reporting, not legal, tax, or financial advice. Always verify property-specific details for your situation. So let's start with the simplest question. What are special assessments? A special assessment is a charge placed on a specific property to help pay for public improvements that directly benefit that property. Instead of everyone in the city paying for new roads, pipes, drainage systems, or sidewalks through general property taxes, only the homes or developments that benefit from those projects are charged for them. In plain English, special assessments are a way for cities to build new neighborhoods without raising taxes on people who already lived in the community before the area was developed. If this sounds unfamiliar, that's completely normal. Most parts of the country don't use special assessments the way we do here in Fargo and the surrounding areas. In many states, cities fund growth by raising general property taxes, charging developers higher upfront fees, or spreading infrastructure costs across entire metro populations. Here, cities build the infrastructure first, then assess those costs to the properties that benefit after the fact. That's why many people moving here are caught off guard. They've simply never encountered this system before. In the Fargo area specifically, special assessments have been used for decades as rural communities grew into modern suburbs. But here's the part I found that most people find confusing. Special assessments are not the same as your normal property taxes. When an assessment is finalized, it is attached to the property, not the owner. It shows up as a separate line item on your annual property tax statement and remains tied to the property until it is fully paid off. When homeowners in Horace receive a final special assessments bill, they usually have two options. Option one, pay it off in full. You have 10 days after City Council approves the assessment list to pay the full balance and pay no interest. Option two, finance it through property taxes. Most homeowners roll the assessment into their annual tax payments and pay it off over time. When you finance it this way, interest is added, similar to a long-term loan. Interest accrues on the unpaid balance and is added to your annual assessment payment. Because most assessments are spread over long terms, the total cost can grow significantly with interest. This means two homeowners might both have a $40,000 assessment, but one may pay $40,000 total, while the other could pay quite a bit more once interest is added. The only difference is whether the assessment is paid upfront or financed over time and paid off with the annual installment. This structure surprises many buyers because in most parts of the country, infrastructure is charged directly to developers and then already included in the home price or paid for through higher general taxes. Before we talk about what happened in Horace specifically, there are a couple things that are really helpful to understand. The first is the difference between local assessments and regional assessments, because they're not the same thing. Local assessments pay for infrastructure that serves one specific neighborhood or subdivision. These types of projects typically include residential streets, local storm sewer, water and sewer lines that directly serve the homes in that neighborhood. The cost of local improvements stays within the development being served. In other words, the people who live in that neighborhood pay for the roads, pipes, drainage, and amenities that benefit their neighborhood only. Regional assessments pay for infrastructure that serves much larger areas, often many neighborhoods or the entire growing side of the city. These projects include major arterial or collector roads, large trunk sewer and water mains, regional stormwater ponds, community parks, or recreational facilities. Because these projects benefit a much wider population, the costs are normally spread across larger assessment districts rather than staying in one subdivision. Why does this matter? This difference explains why assessment totals can look so different from one neighborhood to another. Local assessments tend to be more predictable and stay contained within a specific development. Regional assessments can be larger because the projects themselves are larger, and the way those costs are distributed affects a wide range of properties. Understanding whether a project is local or regional is one of the biggest keys to understanding how assessments are created and why some neighborhoods see higher totals than others. The next important piece is how special assessments are calculated. Once a city knows what infrastructure needs to be built and whether the projects are local or regional, the next step is figuring out how to divide the cost fairly between individual properties. There isn't one flat fee that everyone pays. Instead, the city uses several calculation methods designed to reflect how much benefit or usage each property receives. One common method is based on front footage. This means a lot is assessed based on how much street it touches. A home with more front footage pays more than a home with less front footage. This method is typically used for streets and utility lines that run directly along a property. Horace's policy also includes adjustment rules for odd-shaped lots, so assessments are more equitable. Another method is based on area. This is most often used for stormwater projects. Larger properties typically create more runoff, so bigger lots are charged more than smaller ones to cover drainage and water management improvements. The city also uses what's known as the each method with use factors. Under this system, each property starts with an equal share of the project cost, but that share is adjusted based on how the land is used. A standard single-family home carries one share. Properties that are larger, capable of being subdivided in the future, zoned for apartments, or used commercially receive higher use factors because they typically generate more traffic, water usage, and infrastructure demand. This means apartments, businesses, and large undeveloped tracts often carry a higher portion of assessment costs than single-family homes, while smaller residential lots usually pay the lowest amount. The goal of this system is to assign costs in a way that reflects usage and benefit, rather than charging everyone the same amount regardless of impact. Understanding these calculation methods helps explain why assessment totals can vary greatly even between neighboring lots, and why some properties see significantly larger assessment bills than others. All right, now that I've officially filled your brain with all that is special assessments, let's get into the drama. Just kidding, I don't do drama, I do facts. So here's what actually happened in Horace in 2025. A group of homeowners saw their special assessments jump far higher than what they believed they were initially told when they bought or built. Many thought they were looking at totals in the $30,000 to $50,000 range, but some ended up receiving bills closer to $80,000, and in a few cases, over $100,000. For several families, that meant their monthly payments suddenly went way up. It's important to know that the largest assessment spikes were not spread evenly across the entire city. The biggest headlines came from a small, concentrated group of homeowners in one newer phase of a development. rather than from every neighborhood or from Horace as a whole. Because those increases were significant, the situation drew a lot of attention very quickly, even though most homeowners in Horace did not experience the same level of impact. Understandably, people were frustrated and felt caught off guard. About 15 homeowners ended up filing a lawsuit against the city, arguing the assessments were unfair and not clearly communicated. The lawsuit was later dismissed, not because the concerns weren't valid, but because it was filed outside of the legal appeal window. Since then, the city has acknowledged that communication did not always reach homeowners as clearly or as directly as intended. The city has stated that they are actively working to improve oversight, transparency, and how assessment information is shared going forward. My goal here isn't to take sides or minimize what those homeowners experienced. It's to give you the full picture, because context matters. And when you understand the full picture, the story looks different than the headlines. So what actually caused the surprise bills in 2025? According to the city, 3 factors overlap. First, inflation increased construction costs beyond early project estimates. Early special assessment numbers are estimate. They're not final. The real totals aren't locked in until construction bids are completed and infrastructure projects are finished. Second, temporary project financing, known as temp bonds, added interest costs. And a third factor that contributed to the surprise this year was timing. Many homes were sold 2 to 3 years before assessments were finalized, meaning buyers closed before those final amounts were even determined. At that point, no one was aware of the full costs to come. Because special assessments evolve as projects progress, costs can change over time. And in this case, final numbers came together well after homes had already been purchased. This timing gap played a major role in why the assessments felt so unexpected when they were eventually issued. These 3 things together caused the large surprise bills that made headlines. Since everything happened, the city of Horace has already made several changes to help prevent this from happening again. One of the biggest changes is increased city cost sharing. So residents now cover a smaller portion of large regional infrastructure projects instead of those costs landing so heavily on individual neighborhoods. They've also started phasing out temporary bonding for local subdivisions, which helps reduce years of added interest on future special assessment. Another important shift is earlier cost certification, allowing assessment amounts to be finalized sooner so buyers can know their numbers before closing, not after. On the communication side, the city has expanded how information is shared by posting project maps and timelines online, hosting more public meetings, and encouraging direct one-to-one conversations with city engineers and staff. The city's goal moving forward is simple: to make sure residents are informed from the beginning instead of surprised at the end. Under the new approach, local development projects are designed to be more self-contained and predictable for homeowners, while larger regional infrastructure like major roads or utility expansions is supported more through city cost sharing, grants, and state partnerships. The expectation now is clearer timelines, more consistent policies, and better upfront cost communication for buyers in every new development. I had the pleasure of sitting down with a few individuals at the city of Horace and had a lovely and transparent conversation about all of it. From what I could see, they're really good people who care about this community. I asked them if they could speak directly to those living in or considering making the move to Horace, North Dakota. What would they say? Here it is. Horace is a community built on growth, opportunity, and connection. The city has made difficult but necessary investments to ensure that as Horace expands, it remains safe, welcoming, and well-planned. Families moving here can take comfort in knowing that infrastructure beneath their streets and homes is built to last, and that the city has learned and adapted to making future development more transparent and more predictable. We're proud of where Horace is headed. These projects are not just about pipes and pavement. They're about building a strong foundation for the kind of community people want to call home. All right, that covers everything directly from the city of Horace. And if all of this still leaves you feeling maybe a little uneasy, that's understandable. This situation just brought a lot of attention, not always with full context, to one very specific issue, and that can make anyone pause. So, instead of ending on uncertainty, I want to leave you with something practical. If you're buying or building anywhere near Fargo, North Dakota, not just in Horace, It's important to approach special assessments with awareness, not fear. As we've talked about today, special assessments are simply a part of how growth is funded here. And they're not unique to one city or one neighborhood. That means moving forward confidently, it's down to asking the right question. Before you buy or build, make sure you understand whether there are any unpaid or upcoming special assessments tied to the property, whether the numbers you're seeing are estimates or finalized amounts, which improvement districts apply, and whether you've personally received official information from the city. The goal of asking these questions isn't to slow you down or scare you, it's to give you clarity. When buyers partner with knowledgeable professionals and communicate early on with the city, special assessments don't have to be a surprise. They become just another piece of information you factor into a well-informed decision. At the end of the day, if you're looking for smaller class sizes, a true small town feel, and still want to be minutes from the big city amenities, you may just find your place in Horace. It's a beautiful, fast-growing community with new schools, housing, and businesses continuing to come in, including Anytime Fitness, Scooters Coffee, a Gate City Bank location, and even a new hockey facility with 3 sheets of ice is on the way. It's an exciting time in Horace, and it's absolutely a community I encourage people to take a closer look at. If this video helped you understand special assessments a little better, I'd love to hear from you. What's one thing you didn't know before watching? And if you're curious about your own special assessments balance and aren't sure where to find it, feel free to message me. I'm always happy to help. We'll see you on the next one.